What's up? Teacher Mike here, and if you don't know me, I'm the founder and teacher at ExpressPrep.ca, where we help immigrants just like you become resident by unlocking an awesome CELPIP score and improving your English. Today, we're talking about how I got a 12, the maximum score on CELPIP. This is how I got my PR in Canada. I'm going to walk you through the exact 5 steps that helped me reach the highest score possible and how you can do it too. All right, so first things first, why is CELPIP so important? Let's talk about why this test matters so much if you are an immigrant in Canada. CELPIP is one of the most important English tests for immigration in Canada. If you're applying for PR through any of the provinces, express entry, any special immigration programs, or your post-graduation work permit, which is your ability to work in Canada after college or university, your CELPIP score can make or break your application. The higher the score, the more points you get in your profile, and the better your chances of getting selected to get your permanent residency. So yeah, this test is a very big deal. But the good news is that it's a skill, which means that just like any other skill, it can be learned. And in today's video, I'll show you how I mastered it to get a 12. Step number 1, try the test at least once online to check your current results. Before you train, before you practice, and before you book your official test, you need to know where you stand. That's why the first thing I recommend is do a full test simulation. You can take this CELPIP test online in one of the official websites, or you can use one of our ExpressPrep practice tests under timed conditions. This will show you 2 very important things. Number 1, where you are already pretty good, and number 2, where you're weak and losing points. Most students are surprised by their results, especially in writing and speaking. So don't think you can do it. Test yourself so that you can get a very clear picture. Step number 2, learn the right method for each part. I'm going to explain to you the method that I've developed for my students. This has worked for over 5,000 students, and it's going to work for you as well. The benefit of the CELPIP test is that from one test to another, they do not change this much. That means that the CELPIP test has a very clear pattern that once you identify it, you can get way better results. This is why I was able to develop our own method, the CSF method. Once you've done your first test, you need to learn the right strategy for each part of the CELPIP exam. And I'm not talking here about random tips from Google or YouTube. I'm talking about a system, a method that you follow every single time to make it simple for you to understand. When looking at the complete CELPIP test, there are parts in which you can skip, you can read faster, or even some parts where you don't even have to read at all. Knowing this is what I call dominating the context. This means understanding which parts of the test are important for the context of each question and which parts I can totally skip or ignore, and I'm still going to be able to answer the questions correctly. This is part 1 of our method, the context, the C for CSF. The second part of the method is what I call the skill, the S on CSF. On the same way that each part of the test has a certain context that matters, each part of the test has a certain skill that matters. So look, the CELPIP test is separated into 4 parts of reading, 6 parts of listening, 2 parts of writing, and 8 parts of speaking. And that means that, yes, for each one of these parts, you need a specific English skill that examiners are looking for. On speaking task 5, as an example, examiners want to see if you are able to compare, contrast, and come to a conclusion about something. It means that if you don't use the right grammar to compare 2 items, you would lose points here. Now, this is just one example, of course, which means that for each part of the exam, you are going to need to understand the skill examiners are looking for. What are they looking for in the writing, the speaking? What type of questions they usually ask you in reading and listening? This is what you need to learn, and it's the crucial step for your result. And finally, the F in CSF stands for framework, which is basically the step-by-step that you follow in each question. Either that is reading, listening, speaking, or writing. We've developed our own framework that is our own step-by-step to make solving each question easier and faster. For example, one of the most common mistakes people make is memorizing a template, which is memorizing ready answers to use in their tests. And that, of course, does not work because examiners know about it, they remove points from it. But if you understand a step-by-step, instead of memorizing a ready answer, you're going to use your own words to develop the answer that examiners actually want. And this is how you can get a 12, exactly how I did it. Because this is the exact method that I have used, and it's what I teach exactly to all of my students inside our ExpressPrep. Once you understand how the test is built and how to approach each section, things get way easier and you get a way better score. Step 3, practice more tests using the right method. You have to do more tests, but you cannot just go and do them without paying attention to what you're doing. You have to focus on applying the method that you've just learned. Every question is a chance to get better. And this is the biggest mistake people make. They keep practicing without changing their strategy. That's like playing basketball and shooting basketballs without ever adjusting your aim. You are just reinforcing bad habits. It makes absolutely no sense. Now, every time you're doing the test, you need to check your mistakes. That's why step 4 is also so important. Step 4, get feedback, especially on writing and speaking. Now, this step is crucial because no matter how much you practice, you cannot improve what you don't see. Now, reading and listening are very easy to score in terms of knowing how you're doing because you just check the answers. But writing and speaking, that's where most students lose points. And without feedback, you don't know why. That's why you need feedback on your writing and speaking, especially if you're looking for the higher end scores such as 9, 10, or of course 12, which is the maximum score. Inside our ExpressPrep, our team of trained coaches will give you real feedback on your speaking and writing, pointing out where you're losing marks and how to fix it. Most students can improve 3 to 4 full CLB levels once they start getting consistent feedback. We've had students go from 8 to 12 just by getting the right feedback on their writing and their speaking. And last but not least, step 5, practice until you get the results that you expect. This last step is simple, but a lot of people forget about it. You gotta keep practicing until your results match your goal. If you need a CLB 9, you cannot stop at 7. If you want a 12, you have to keep going until you're consistently scoring 12s on the practice test. You wouldn't take a driving test after practicing just once. It's the same thing here. Repetition, consistency, and accountability. That's what gets you the results you need. Now, I know this step sounds pretty obvious, but you'd be surprised at how many people never actually practice the test. Maybe they try it once or twice, they watch some YouTube videos and they think that's it. Well, for a test as important as CELPIP in your immigration journey, I'm telling you, it isn't enough. You need more. My recommendation is this: practice until you can't fail. Practice until you know exactly what you're doing so that you don't even feel nervous anymore. Now, look, doing all of this by yourself is not only hard, it's risky. I've seen students spend months preparing the wrong way, only to miss their score by 1 point, and sometimes lose their chance for PR for another month or another 6 months or another year. So don't be that person. All you gotta do is talk to one of our student advisors today, clicking the link in the bio or in the description here, and we're gonna guide you step by step. We're gonna help you apply the CSF method, and we're gonna make sure you hit the score you need fast. All right, and that's how I got a 12 on the CELPIP, and that's how you can do it too. These 5 steps work, and they've helped thousands of students inside ExpressPrep hit their target scores and finally become Canadian residents. So now it is your turn. Teacher Mike out. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel. Tell me in the comments if you're getting ready for your CELPIP test. I'll be in the comments helping out. Drop any questions. I'll see you soon.